Hi, my name is Ben Russell and I'm one of the senior economics teachers here at St Lawrence's College, and it is my pleasure to talk to you about the possibility of picking economics as a senior subject pathway here at St Lawrence's College in the senior school. Before I get into the nitty-gritty about economics, I thought it was important to start with debunking a couple of myths that normally get said around economics and giving some truths around what it actually is. Myth number one. People think that economics here at Laurie's is about the stock market, the finance industry, or just purely making money. That plays a part to an extent, but at its core, economics here at Laurie's studies people, the choices we make, and most importantly, why those choices are made. You see, another myth that gets thrown around is economics is purely just graphs, charts, and numbers. And again, while that plays a part, the idea is it's a social science who studies people. And if we study individuals, we will start to realise that groups of individuals tend to make the same choices. Therefore, we can start looking at patterns and trends emerging and therefore make possible predictions about the future as a result of the choices individuals and groups are making. Take example the case of a Year 9 boy. There's a reason why most Year 9 students would have some sort of smartphone in their pocket over the traditional Samsung or Nokia brick. You see, both serve the same function, both call and text, which is what phones are designed to do. Now I can understand and appreciate that now in today's age, phones serve so much more of a purpose than that. Let's say internet, music, social media, and for adults, banking and emails. However, there are cheaper smartphones. So why is Apple and why is the iPhone still the number one choice here for boys at St Lawrence's College? If it was purely a monetary value, therefore iPhone wouldn't be the case. You see, we understand and not understand first, we examine and study why those choices are being made. What motivates people to do the things that they do? In another case of a Year 9 example, this is the idea of incentives. You see, if we gave Year 9 boys the opportunity on a Friday afternoon to do whatever they wanted, they had free reign, but we gave them two choices. So not really free reign. Option number one, going down to the movies or hanging out with friends at South Bank, or option number two, going home and studying for their upcoming assessment or just in general. You would find that the most sensible option, the most financially sound option, would be to go home and study. Yet the evidence would probably suggest that Year 9 students, the vast majority of them, would go and watch a movie or would go and hang out with their friends. Here in economics, we try and understand that why behind it. What are the incentives at play? It's not just financial. What does that look like in the Year 10 context at economics? We firstly look at this idea of the overall market and why people make choices around this idea of scarcity. We then move into term 2, focusing on this idea of wealth creation and investing in order to have a financial sense of freedom and be financially literate. In our second semester, we move towards microeconomic issues, a case example there being of, is there a current inefficiency in the market, for example, kidney shortages, and therefore, could there be a market for that? Should they be legalised in a safe and responsible way? Again, it's a moral dilemma. In economics, we understand, or hopefully to understand, the why. We then move into the core unit 1 of markets and models with a particular focus on the equal distribution of income and wealth and how that looks like in Australian society and how the government looks at intervening. In Year 11, we focus far more on the QCAA and the mandated units that we must study here in economics throughout Year 11 and 12. That again is a focus on markets and models with more of a focus around supply and demand theory. We then move into modified markets and realise and understand that some markets fail and therefore there needs to be intervention, particularly around the idea of the environmental impacts that are currently pressing in the 21st century. We then move to the study of international economics and particularly our international trading partners and why that plays such an important role in our domestic economy. Into term 4, we have a particular focus on international economics still moving forward, particularly around free trade agreements, with our final semester of study being on the contemporary scale, that is, how do markets overall operate and how that is of benefit for the Australian economy. What does that look like for pathways beyond school? They're listed there below, and possible careers. The key point I want to make mention of is everything we study in economics has a real world, tangible connection, up to date. That's why I love teaching it. It is constantly changing. Some key points of information. You don't need to know prior learning in the middle school. and it's an exam-based assessment with one assignment per year. Each year has one exam, one report, one essay, and one extended written response. I hope that this information will benefit to you. Please feel free to make contact with any of the business teachers at the college for further information.